plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
At Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical, we're ready, reliable, and recommended. Water heater acting up or your sump pump on the fritz? Call Action. Summer's around the corner. Is your AC working? Are you sure? Call Action. Electrical problems? I'm telling you, call Action. Call Action for a free same-day estimate or a trusted second opinion. You heard that right, a free same-day estimate. 402-423-6960. ActionLincoln.com.
Midwest Bank is proud to be your local community bank right here in Lincoln. This is Abby with Midwest Bank. Stop by our new location at 70th and Pioneers. Our new full-service branch does it all. From our friendly staff to our easy online banking and mobile app, you get all the technology of a big bank that you need, but you still get the hometown customer service that you want. Your community, your bank. Midwest Bank. Learn more at midwest.bank. Member FDIC.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at doorsplusllc.com or give them a call at 402-590-5800.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and we wanted to give a special shout out to all of our great customers, thanking you all for a record-setting year in 2024. Now let's get the new year rolling with some big savings. Right now at Cobble, we have some of the biggest discounts in the area with over $12,000 off list price or 0% APR on select new models. So stop on in the dealership or hit us up online at cobblecars.com to get true low country overhead in action. $12,000 off list or 0% APR right now at Cobble. So please stop on in or visit us at cobblecars.com. You'll be glad you did.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NEPCO. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
That's right. Strick and Austin. Dynamic duo.
I'm back.
Together at 1040 O Street. Strick, welcome back, partner. What's good with
back
you?
in the building. It has been great, man. It has been all good. It has been wonderful. Excited. Strickland's up in 2025. Matthew Strickland jumped the broom. My dad, shout out to him. And, his beautiful bride went out to Dominican Republic for their honeymoon. And, man, it was beautiful. Huh?
You ever been there?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I liked it. Went to both Punta Cana and Puerto Plata. Those are the two that I've been to. It's a beautiful country. I mean, the food is excellent. I actually went yesterday and ate some Puerto Rican food. And while I was in Orlando and had some Colombian food. So I've been kind of on a Latin flavor flow right now. And but I'm glad to be back with the Blockheads, man. A lot of craziness going on out there in Husker land, good and bad. Women are doing wonderful. Shout out to the women. But we're going to get into the men, I'm sure, and very quickly and shortly. But how have you guys been? How you been, man?
Good. Tried to hold the fort down. Didn't burn the place down while you were gone. So thanks to Nick and to Jay for filling in. Hopefully you had some good time with friends and family down there. So we're glad we're able to do that for you. Cubsker says, welcome back, Stricky, and happy Monday.
Thank you.
Not really in Husker land. There's a lot to get to for the basketball teams, like you just said. We'll touch on that. We'll touch on a transfer portal visitor coming to Lincoln, as well as Jim Knowles departing Ohio State for Penn State. Then in hour 2, we will get into the NFL weekend that was, and then a recruiting conversation. Brian Munson will join us. Been a few weeks since we talked to the boy B. Muntz, so we'll get his reaction to Bills Chiefs as well. Hopefully Brian is able to roll out of bed and talk to us on the phone after that one. But if you want to be a part of the show like Cubsker, you can text our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line 402-464-5685, or leave a comment on one of our streams, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, up and rolling for you. Stricky.
Justin Rogge, you saw him?
Yeah, about that. Stricky, before we get there, do you remember who the sponsor of On the Block is?
I do. It is NEPCO. NEPCO, construction, real estate, and recreation. And they're always hiring.
Many positions.
It's a new year. 2025 is here. NEPCO is ready to service the community. A lot of projects going on right now. So it is a great time to jump in with NEPCO and be a part of the family. Been around since 1908 and a lot of history. And you can't stay around that long if you're not doing tremendous business and working in the community and being connected to the community. And so their family, you can be a part of it as well.
Love it. NEPCOinc.com. Well, Stricky, do you have any eligibility? And if you did, would that help the Huskers? 83-55, a beatdown at the hands of the Badgers in Madison.
Shout out to Justin Rogge. Thank you for that. And eligibility's gone. I had 4 years and with no injuries, so I can't even sneak one in if I tried to sneak one in. Probably all I can give them is good corner threes with a little zone and, play a little one-on-one. I got about 5 to 10 minutes in me. That's about it. That's it. That's all I can do for you. And get some rebounds, put some bodies on people. That's about all I can do. Maybe dive on the floor one time, maybe one time.
Well, I don't know if that's going to be enough to solve Nebraska's issue. So we'll keep your legs, your knees, and all of that safe and healthy by keeping you up in media row. But Strick, once again, it was a disappointing performance from Nebraska. They switch up the starting lineup. This time, Braxton Mia and Aaron Eulis are out of the starting lineup. It's Sam Hoiberg and Andrew Morgan who take their spots. And that new starting group, Stricky, got down 19-2.
I saw it.
That was the problem. Nebraska downsizes a little bit. They get it back to 24-21. Can
2
never
points.
get that shot.
They got it down to 2. And it just kept going. Yep. They just kept
jumping.
Jumping.
Back to 17 right before the half. Nebraska got 5 quick points to cut it to 12 at halftime. And then things went downhill from there. But it's the same thing, Strick. It was poor perimeter defense. It was the lack of offensive continuity and flow. It was no rhythm from Nebraska. And then, Strick, we got to this point even in the second half. Watching the broadcast, Stephen Bardo on the Big Ten Network said, forget execution. Can Nebraska play as hard as its opponent right now? And I'm questioning that. What the heck?
I've said that.
That's inexcusable.
Yeah. Yeah, Austin, I've said that. I've said, listen, you can get beat. You can play bad, but there's ways you can stay in the game with bad play, and that's by hustle, grind, just a little bit of grit, some heart, right? And I had to question that. I didn't see that in a lot of the things that they were doing. One, it's already too hard for them to score because they just don't have skill set guys that can do that. So it's already difficult there. So if you have that kind of difficulty, there's things that you have to do. You have to be very fundamentally sound. You have to screen well. You have to execute. You have to run stuff that's going to get you an opportunity. I'm talking about even with the shot clock going down. You're not a team that really can break anybody down on a one-on-one situation and get you a good bucket. Whereas other teams you're seeing, they're either what are they doing to you? They're either executing or they're breaking you down, and they're able to get good shots. I mean, we can just track the history of the last 5 games alone, and we don't even have to go far. You can track the last 2 games and just see that. You can know you know that Iowa is not that is, they've got guys that can do some things, make tough shots, but they're going to execute. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to execute, and if they shoot well, then you can have some trouble with them. And so you're seeing sometimes they'll lose a game because they may not be shooting well, and some of their top guys may not be playing to the level. And, the NIL situation, I'm not going to dig into any details of that. You can look that up on your own and figure that out. But the NIL guys right now are not, to me, just in my outside observation, and they're not playing to the level of what they're being compensated for. Let me just say that. There has to be a consistency with you. When what's the biblical one with much
Much is given, much is
much is given, there's much required, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see that. I don't see that. 28 minutes out of Bryce, you go 4 for 12, 11 points there. Juwan 2 for 12, shooting a lot of threes. He's not a consistent 3-point shooter for you to be Hawk shooting those. That's an issue too. And then if your bench play struggles, your guys that are supposed to come off and give you that energy off the bench, he started off early, hit a couple, but when a season's struggling and you're not getting much out of the bench, then there's going to be a struggle. And to only get to 55 points, that just shows that there was a big struggle there. Wisconsin is a good team that fundamentally takes care of things. Shout out to John Tunji, local kid, right?
Omaha Central Zone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tunji, some of my understanding is he had some desires to come back here too, but we've seemed to miss on a lot of those guys. Frankie Fiddler, shout out to him, having great success up to, and I'm proud of them. Those guys are doing well and having success where they're going. Whatever's going on right now, it seems to me very reminiscent of my time here. There seems to be a lot of schism. A team that doesn't have a tremendous skill set, when there's schism, it only makes it worse. This is when you start seeing these long losing streaks, because when you have schism and you don't have leadership, it's hard to turn around. When you have leadership, you have people that are going to take that onus, whether it be in practice or whether it be in the games. They're going to take the onus of that thing, put the responsibility on themselves. And this is why I have such admiration for Michael Jordan, because he would take there's guys like that would literally take the onus on their shoulders. That's why I have great respect for, Larry Bird and even John Stockton and those guys, you know what I mean? Because, they knew what they did. They do it well. And you will see consistency in the areas, and this is why you see success. And we're just not seeing that with Nebraska right now.
You're really not. The only consistent thing from Nebraska right now is the losing. 6 in a row for the Huskers. They sit alone in 17th place. They would miss the Big Ten tournament as of now. And Strick, as we look at, we talked a little bit about this, where does Nebraska go from here? It just doesn't feel like the answers are on the roster right now. Some of it feels like it's the roster. Some of it feels like the coaching, but without being there, in the walls. Hard for me to comment on exactly what else could be done. The only other thing two other things I guess I could see on the basketball side of things. Number one is one final starting lineup change, because clearly defense isn't working out for Nebraska. And even though that's what they've said they want their foundation to be, clearly that's not going to work. So could Nebraska go with a starting lineup of Raleigh Wooster, Connor Esijan, Bryce Williams, Juwan Gary, and one of the big men?
Ooh, Tanji dunked on somebody. Gosh.
Oh, yeah. He got up.
He got a body on.
It's probably Esijan's really good at contesting at the rim. It just doesn't usually go well for him.
Gosh. So, okay, I'm sorry. I had a flashback. Flashback moment. Okay, go ahead.
But I think that lineup, right, with it's Raleigh, Bryce, Connor, Juwan, and insert one of the posts here. Maybe that could work. The other thing, Strick, that I don't understand why Nebraska, well, I think I know, but I don't know for sure, is why Nebraska doesn't even try like a 1-2-2 kind of 3/4 court press to slow teams down, get them out of rhythm when things go wrong. Why they don't try a 1-3-1? Because no, Nebraska is not overwhelmingly athletic, but they are pretty long.
Mm-hmm.
You know, can you stick Bryce or Juwan to the top of a 1-3-1, right? Andrew Morgan or Bear K in the middle, put a guard on the bottom, and then have a couple wings. I don't know, but Nebraska has never tried a changeup on defense when teams get rolling, right? Not saying it has to go to their base defense or anything, but we haven't seen a lot of mix-ups in coverage from Nebraska to throw something off. Feels like there are some potential solutions there Nebraska could try. And I'm kind of disappointed they haven't busted them out already because, hey, guess what? Teams with 6-game losing streaks don't normally make the postseason. And that's where we're at right now. So it might be too little, too late. But I do think, Strick, it's also interesting if we take a look at the women's side of things, because Nebraska women had the PAC PBA game against number 12 Ohio State. They fall just short, losing at 72-66. But what I think the conversation is here is if the Nebraska men were doing pretty much the exact same as what the Nebraska women have done over the last handful of years, we wouldn't be having this conversation, right? I think what a lot of fans are asking is for the men's program to get to the level of the women's program, right? That's a women's program that made the NCAA tournament's been 2 of the last 3 years they haven't made it. They've been in the NIT, never seriously threatening elite teams, right? They lost by 11 to Georgia Tech, who's a top 20 team. Lost to Great News Fringe, top 25. Lost to Ohio State here at home by 6. Got blown out by USC and UCLA, but were competitive in the first half in those games. And that's not enough, right? Don't get me wrong. I think everyone in that program would tell you they need to be better in the second half and find a way to finish. But the Nebraska women's team has been 23-12 in the NCAA tournament, 18-15 in the NIT, 24-9 in the NCAA tournament, 13-13, 17-13, 14-16, and then 21-11 and in the NCAA tournament, right? That's basically half the time under Amy Williams, with the weird 2 COVID years in there as well, that they've been in postseason play. If the men had those same results, I don't think we'd be having a lot of these conversations.
Yeah.
But the problem is, you go on a 6-game losing streak, you're looking like you're on the outside looking in for any postseason, let alone the NCAA tournament. And we have these big picture existential questions. Women's basketball right now kind of feels like it's in the Bo Pelini zone. You pretty much know what you're going to get. They're going to be fine. They're going to be solid. They'll win most of the games they're expected to, lose the teams that are, pretty clearly more talented than them. And they'll be in some sort of postseason at the end of the year. But why can't men's basketball get there?
So here's a couple things before I get to that, right? As I looked at this last game, it was very telling to me, Austin, in a few ways. One, you shoot 33%. And look, Wisconsin is not a freaking super elite defensive team. They're good. They're solid.
They're okay.
They're not super elite. Okay. You're 33% from the 3-point line, but then you're 37% from the free throw line. What does that mean? That means
you got there 8 times.
You're mentally checked out. The fact that you got there 8 and you couldn't even muster up over 50%, right? Mm-hmm. That means you're mentally checked out. Here's the other part. You get absolutely dominated on the boards. That's hard. Your mind is not into the game, and there's schism because you don't want to share. So that means there's what we call freeze outs going on somehow, some way, or guys going back to the old Nebraska teams that we used to see that, well, it's on me. I'm going to take the onus. I'm just going to put it on my shoulders. But then you're not built that way. How do you have almost more turnovers than you have assists? That's a crazy dynamic. Okay. So getting back to this thing, I think you're right. I don't think that the fans can let me know, those who are listening or those who follow Nebraska basketball, you let me know if, like, there was a lot of enjoyment even when I played, because it was a consistency in success, not just winning 20 games and stuff like that, but you knew that when you came, there was going to be a consistency on how we were going to play a certain way, which makes it like, if you lose, you just, it just wasn't your night. Whereas you can come to a game and at least know that you're going to get effort and hardness and you're going to be able to at least enjoy the game. It's not going to be like, oh man, You know what I'm saying? It's a terrible feeling. So for me, that's the thing that I'm fearful of in the recruitment. I'm fearful of what you have, guys that I think could possibly do some things for your organization, like Janowski. Is he gonna stay? Like those are the things now. So I don't see recruitment for style, because otherwise, if that was the case, for me, the one closest to a rink mass is BK.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not really using him for what for the style that you used to play. Because to me, if that was the case, I think you would use BK similar to what you used for Mass, and then you would have Mia similar to what you used for Alec.
Morgan for what you used for Alec. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
or shoot Jawan in that spot if you want to go small.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm having trouble just kind of seeing how it all, works itself out, or even how it gets better, because your lineup and your style is off. So now you have schism, because now there's frustration, and body language is horrible. So it's tough to see where there's an exit strategy, or where there's a light at the end of the tunnel for this situation if it continues to spiral out of control.
Nebraska men have their next opportunity against Illinois on Thursday. That'll be number 17 versus number 17, except, of course, that is number 17 in the country versus number 17 in the Big Ten. We'll be there. We'll bring you post-game coverage after that one. Husker women are next on the road. Also on Thursday, they take on Purdue in West Lafayette. Then a couple other days in the Hoosier State before a road game at Indiana.
Justin has something, because we don't know I don't know the exact number for that. But I can tell you it's not in comparison to others.
Yeah.
I don't think.
My gut tells me, Strick, that Nebraska probably isn't in the upper tier of NIL when it comes to Big Ten men's basketball. But I would also wonder if Nebraska is spending its resources in the best way, right? Why is the money being allocated where it is? That's not all coaching, but some of it's on coaching. Couple other quick things here on the text line. 1562. We probably need a little more time to address that. I'll text you back, and we'll see if we can go from there. And Chris on the text line says, in my opinion, there's only two players giving 100% effort all the time. That's Sam. And Boyukton Joe. Berke floats a little bit, right? I don't want to say he's a front runner by any means, but I think when it makes sense, Berke will go 100% full steam, give effort. There's some other times he's floating. He's kind of a space cadet on the court. But yes, I mean, huge credit to Sam Hoiberg, who is doing his part and then some. But of course, it's more than just a one-player game and team. So let's go to break. When we get back, Husker football has a transfer portal visitor coming to town in the form of an offensive lineman that may or may not have just played in the national championship game. And Penn State hires Jim Knowles away from Ohio State. What does that mean for them and for the rest of the Big Ten? We'll get into that when we continue on the block.
Follow Austin, Strick, and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Did you know that AmeriCorps programs improve lives, strengthen communities, and foster civic engagement in Nebraska? For example, AmeriCorps program, serving with the RISE program, helps students on probation for truancy gain skills to improve both their attendance and performance in school. Discover more about AmeriCorps programs making a difference in your community at serve.nebraska.gov. Paid for by Serve Nebraska. Aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and we wanted to give a special shout out to all of our great customers, thanking you all for a record-setting year in 2024. Now let's get the new year rolling with some big savings. Right now at Cobble, we have some of the biggest discounts in the area, with over $12,000 off list price or 0% APR on select new models. So stop on in the dealership or hit us up online at cobblecars.com to get true low country overhead in action. $12,000 off list or 0% APR right now at Cobble. So please stop on in or visit us at cobblecars.com. You'll be glad you did.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
At Lincoln Family Chiropractic, they believe everyone deserves to live a pain-free and active life. Lincoln Family Chiropractic specializes in customized care for every patient to promote faster healing, allowing you to get back to an optimal life. Lincoln Family Chiropractic goes beyond chiropractic care. They offer physical therapy, massage therapy, nutritional counseling, and wellness classes. Give Lincoln Family Chiropractic a call today at 402-484-5166. Visit them online at lincolnfamilychiro.com or in person, 1 block south of 70th and A Street in Lincoln.
Hello.
Angela, we have to break up.
But why?
Because you're a robot and I'm just a guy trying to get better internet.
It's Aloe Fiber, isn't it? I always knew you wanted faster speeds. My contract isn't good enough for you.
Face it, Angela. They let me talk to real people.
Press 4 to break my heart. Oh wait, you already did.
Visit aloefiber.com to switch today.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solutions offers fleet services, as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2024 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln. If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
At Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical, we're ready, reliable, and recommended. Water heater acting up or your sump pump on the fritz? Call Action. Summer's around the corner. Is your AC working? Are you sure? Call Action. Electrical problems? I'm telling you, call Action. Call Action for a free same-day estimate or a trusted second opinion. You heard that right, a free same-day estimate. 402-423-6960. ActionLincoln.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to On the Block. He's Strick and Austin Norman here. Thank you for joining us for another episode here. As we close out the beginning, man, my gosh, Austin, it just seems like January has already flown by, my boy. It's like a speed racer. You ever seen that when you was a kid? You never saw that show, have you?
No.
I know y'all listeners, the blockheads always know what's going on. Go, go, speed racer. the little car. He had the white car with the number 8 on it, and he was just dipping and dodging. You'd have to look that up, Austin, sometime. I'm pretty sure, little Herbie would love that show. He would get into it. But we're here. Got off talking about the Husker hoops and the spiraling down that's going on right now. Let us know on the text line, 402-464-5685, whether or not you think that the spiral will stop, discontinue. Is there a chance for upward mobility to get out of it? Or are you stuck in the Dungeons and Dragons with this team? And there's nowhere to go but out as far as not making the postseason, because this year you do not make the postseason if you're in the bottom 3 of the Big Ten, and right now they are that. So we'll see if that can change. It's a tough schedule still coming up yet ahead of them. Some ranked opponents still to come with Oregon and Illinois. Got to hit the road for one of them and one at home. So that's going to be a tough road. But let's talk about Husker football. It looks like, and you know what? Here's the one thing I can also attest and we'll speak about as far as Husker football. At least they're getting people in the building, right? Top tier talent in the building. Notre Dame, after the championship, has 2 starters jump into the transport. I'm still dumbfounded as to how that happens, but one of them happens to be a lineman. Now, we've all been talking about Nebraska football and where we thought the areas of improvement, growth, what can help it make it better. Obviously, Dylan Raiola, and the more you can keep him untouched and being able to have step-ups into the pocket, easy throwing lanes, he can make the throws. Now get him some talent on the outside. But we're looking here to try to find a potential lineman that is in the transfer portal out of Notre Dame. What's your initial take on that? What do you think the possibility is possibly of landing someone of that talent, or is it going to be very costly?
Well, it's not going to be cheap, right? A guy that just played for national championship game and on the offensive line. I mean, that's a hard position to get a lot of transfers from. They're usually pretty coveted. Interior guy might be a little easier to get than a tackle, right? Tackles and then even centers, I think, are, those are a little pricier typically, whether you're looking at the transfer portal or in the NFL. But Rocco Spindler is the guy's name from Notre Dame, who was a starter, got hurt a little bit, lost his starting spot even after he came back. Then someone else went down, so he ended up finishing the year the last from week 3 on, essentially week 4 on. He played right guard, and that's interesting to me, Strick, because we felt like Nebraska had a decent showing at right guard this year, and Henry Lutovsky. Are they going to go get Rocco Spindler to take over at left guard if Justin Evans moves to center? Do they want to keep Evans at left guard and maybe move Spindler to center? I don't know. I mean, 6'5", 325 is really good size, I would say, especially on the interior. I mean, 23 starts over the last 2 seasons. They're all at right guard. That's where he's gotten comfortable. It's where he's developed. It's where he's gotten good. So
Lutovsky's also shown the ability to kind of move.
He could
on the line a little bit, right?
He could.
But he looked the best at the guard. Okay.
I mean, that's where he played the most. Is where he got on the field now. Yeah. So Nebraska seems to like him there. They found a position where he was comfortable. And even if a guy can move, if he finds a place he's comfortable, kind of want to stick with him there. So I don't know if they're looking at Spindler as a left guard, as a center, or if they're looking to move Lutovsky. I don't know what it could be. But they've got some competition. He could potentially visit Michigan as well. And I think he is also, he visited Indiana over the weekend. They'll be in Lincoln tomorrow and then could potentially visit Michigan as well.
Staying in the Big Ten looks like that's a comfortable spot for him.
Yeah.
That's good. And I still believe that's special. Shout out to, gosh, I almost said Dominic Raiola.
Oh, Dylan. To Donovan.
Donovan.
Yeah.
I almost said Dominic for some reason. Donovan Raiola. Shout out to him for, the work that he's done. I still think there's been improvement. I think he was stuck with a pretty tough situation there. But to be able to get them in the building, I still believe that's phenomenal. Nebraska, will they have the money? We'll see if that's something that they want to throw it off for an interior lineman. We'll see on that as well. But moving on, as far as that's concerned, tell me a little bit, Austin, how you feel about Penn State's defensive coordinator leaving Ohio State from after a natty, making a horizontal, or some would say a downgrade, going from Ohio State over to Penn State. What's your initial feeling about that? And why would someone make that type of jump? What would make somebody interested in making that?
Why do you think you would do it, Strick? Yeah, what your thoughts
I
first?
think it's something that has to do with some moolah.
I think that's a good guess because he's set to make an average of $3.1 million for each of the next 3 years.
She as a DC, as a coordinator.
It's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. And Corey deservedly, coordinator. I mean, he really helped turn around Oklahoma State's defense, led him to a Big 12 championship appearance, was brought in, worked some wonders with Ohio State's defense, #1 defense in the country, led him to a national championship. And here's the thing, Strick. He is from the Northeast, right? He's from that area, has a lot of ties to not necessarily Penn State specifically, but a lot of schools in that region. It's closer to home for him, closer to where he's from. So from that standpoint, I can get why Penn State would want to pay him that much and why they would really want to bring him in. But man, doesn't it feel like a step backwards for Jim Knowles? Right? Why would you leave? I mean, okay, money closer to home. I get that. Is that enough to tear you away from a place you just won a national championship? Or you feel like you could really build something? Like to go from Oklahoma State,
some stability there,
to Ohio State to Penn State, all in the span of 5 years. I mean, so he's from Philly, so he's going back to his home state, grew up watching Penn State games. Yeah, all that makes sense. But man, you just won a national championship at Ohio State. Is it because you don't think you're getting enough credit? Well, guess what? Everyone's focused on Ryan Day instead of you for a lot of negative reasons, right? They weren't worried about your defense and your corners drawing holding penalties or anything. Maybe Strick, he thinks he has more coming back at Penn State, right? So there's less to build. Maybe he's a guy that comes in, puts the finishing touches on the top of the roster instead of being the guy that really sits back and develops them.
Because they probably, at Penn State, they got to feel like they're close, right? They got to feel like they're right there.
Carter, which is a big deal, but I don't know how much else they have coming back. But we know Ohio State loses a lot. So maybe he doesn't want a hard reset, right? Maybe he doesn't want to, get down to the ground level with younger guys and coach them all the way up. I could see that. I'm not shocked by the move. I'm kind of surprised by the fact that he would leave in conference. I think that's a really big get for Penn State. But then, Strick, if you hire away Ohio State's defensive coordinator and it still doesn't work,
whoa.
You just lost Tom Allen, who helped improve your defense a little bit, to Clemson, right? Penn State's DC got poached after Tom Allen's just, fired by Indiana. Penn State picks him up. They have a good year. He leaves for Clemson. Good on Penn State for flexing a little bit. And Garage Jeff says, look at Penn State. He's not heading to a scrub team. More money and closer to family. No brainer to me. If it works. But it's not a sure thing it's going to work at Penn State, right? Like what can he accomplish at Penn State that he couldn't accomplish at Ohio State?
Yeah.
Right? Don't tell me it's football related. And if it's not football related, that's fine. But just tell us, I'm moving to be closer to family because they're paying me $3 million. Not because of any football related reason.
For me, before we go to break, I'm going to throw this out there. I think that's some of those thoughts and could be reasons, potentially reasons. The reasons that we're here. It could be a little bit of that, but I can't sing, so but it could be part of it. But also, it could be you won a natty. You accomplished this, a really big goal. You got Ohio State over the hump, right? You're able to go get more money. As you said, potentially not have to start from ground level up. Probably had to look and assess, what you have coming, what you don't, what you got to do there and there. And it looks like it, I can just pretty much come in and apply my system to this place here, maybe a better. But it could also be if you make this move if you potentially are looking for a head coaching move
or want to get
now, 59. You may say, I want to be a head coach for the last 10 years of my career. If I've got a natty, I go here, I move them and give them an extra oomph to get to the next level, potentially playing for a natty or even going and winning one for Penn State. If he's able to accomplish that within that tenure, like you don't have to do it next year. Like that's the thing about it. He doesn't have to accomplish it next year, but you definitely, you got to be setting a goal to accomplish it before the end of your contract. And if you can do that, get that turned around and put in the position to do so, then you probably can ink yourself for any top level coaching, because that's probably what you've got to be going for to make that type of move. You're looking for a big time coaching. You're not looking to go to James Madison and start that program over, or go to North Dakota State.
Right.
You're not trying to, you're making that move because you're trying to go to Oklahoma, or you're trying to go to USC, or you're where they got money,
right?
But also where they've got the potential to bring some talent in there as well. You may even go to Auburn. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, you're probably not, unless those teams are on the fringe of falling off the map, you're probably not going to get a Georgia job, or you're not going to get a Texas job, or you're not going to, but you can sure get maybe a Texas A&M, Texas Tech. You know, you can get who's got money.
Yeah.
You may even get an LSU, you know, or something like that. It's going to be a team that's probably not top tier, but that can get there. You're not going to even get Ole Miss, but you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Tennessee, none of them are going to probably come to you. Phil, talk to me.
Yeah, I'll just wrap up with a couple things from the text line. Old Dad 34, why not go to Penn State? It might be a bucket list job for him. And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, you know, growing up in Philly, watching Penn State games, that's all fine and well. And I don't begrudge him the move at all. I think it's a really good move for Penn State to go get him. But you don't very often see someone get to a school like Ohio State and then say, nah, I'm good. You know, usually you work your whole career to get to a blue blood like Ohio State.
Yeah.
And the only way you leave is kicking and screaming, not voluntarily. And maybe this is the one opportunity that he would do that for, but we don't see, many, position coaches leave Ohio State to go be a position coach somewhere else of their own volition. If you're going to be a position coach and leave, it's because you got a coordinator job. If you're going to leave a coordinator job, it's because you got a head coaching job from a program like that specifically. So it must be a bucket list sort of job, dream job for him. So that's really it. And Cubsker is trying to angle Jim Knowles to Pittsburgh if the Steelers end up having a losing season. I don't know about that one. I think Jim Knowles strikes me as a college type of guy. And Justin Rogge says, I refuse to believe Ohio State wouldn't match or beat what Penn State offered. Maybe not, but maybe Ohio State says, we weren't paying you $3 million and we can do it. We are confident in our standing in the national sphere, so we don't have to pay you $3 million. We can go pay someone else $1.5 million or $1 million, whatever it is, and get the same results. So
yeah,
I'm not shocked by that from Ohio State if they matched or even if they didn't match and walked away.
Well, there it is. Yeah, we're going to get out of here and take a break, but there's something I think I want to discuss with Austin when we come back, because slowly approaching is the NBA trade deadline. And it's 2 weeks away from that deadline. And could we see some big names on the move? We'll talk about maybe 4 NBA stars that could be possibly moved by the trade deadline. Let's get into that on a short segment when we come back right here at 937 The Ticket on the Block.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
What's it take to be a mentor with big brothers, big sisters? It takes 30 minutes and a cup of coffee. A video game, best 2 out of 3. It takes sharing thumbs up emojis, clapping emojis, and loaded nachos at halftime. That's how you make an impact on a young kid's life. So go on, share a few hours a month, because mentorship may sound huge, but the truth is, it takes little to be big. To learn more, volunteer, or donate, go to BeBigNow.org.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solutions offers fleet services, as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2024 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl, Jordan, with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Let's talk commitment. And what better way to do that than with some shiny, sparkly jewelry? Am I right? Now, I'm not suggesting you have to rush, but if you're considering making a significant move, do your planning. We offer financing and payment plans. Lock down your selection with confidence. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most, for all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street downtown, always honest answers.
What's going on, fans? This is Lexi Rodriguez, four-time All-American at Nebraska and now proud member of Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League One Volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players, and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering us on in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha Volleyball in action this season. Go Big Green!
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. See lots of sunshine. It will be breezy. We'll see an afternoon high near 53. Tonight, mostly clear skies and light winds with a low around 25. Tomorrow, we'll see sunshine return with a light breeze and an afternoon high near 56. I'm meteorologist Kyle Huck for 93.7 Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Lincoln Family Chiropractic, they believe everyone deserves to live a pain-free and active life. Lincoln Family Chiropractic specializes in customized care for every patient to promote faster healing, allowing you to get back to an optimal life. Lincoln Family Chiropractic goes beyond chiropractic care. They offer physical therapy, massage therapy, nutritional counseling, and wellness classes. Give Lincoln Family Chiropractic a call today at 402-484-5166. Visit them online at lincolnfamilychiro.com or in person, 1 block south of 70th and A Street in Lincoln.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
As I said, going into the break, here on the block is going to be an NBA conversation with the trade deadline looming a couple of weeks away. And we're starting to hear, and if you are following, to hear a lot of discussions about rumors and speculations that are out there. But there's something also that has now presented his head in the whole conversation, and that is something called the second apron. And if you don't know what it is, no, it's not you going into the kitchen and putting an apron on and cooking up something. It is something that is very expensive to the owner if team happens to fall into the second apron, it could be very detrimental to the building of a team. It can hurt pocketbooks. It's got a lot of things that comes with being in the second apron, and that is now live. So even though that's the case, we're going to have a little discussion and talk a little bit and speculate on the possibilities of movement in the second half of the season. Here are 4 deadlines, and it really would be 5 because I would throw Jimmy Butler into this mix for one or two reasons. One, who is willing to take on Jimmy Butler, because it seems to be a cancerous type of situation. We saw it in Philly. We saw it, did well, helped the team, helped some of his teammates get paid. Duncan Robinson helped him to get his money. You definitely helped
Tyler
Hero get
Adebayo.
paid. Yeah, you got, he was there to help his guys to get their paperwork. But now there's a lot of frustration there. But I'm gonna throw a wrench at you, and it's gonna be the last wrench that I throw to see if it pops you upside the head one time.
I can dodge a wrench, I can dodge a ball, but we'll see.
We'll see. Dodgeball, you've ever seen that show? Here we go. First, I'm going to talk about Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine is, he's thrown in the market. He's been out there in the marketplace for quite some time. He hasn't been moved, not because of his ability and his play. He's scoring 24 points a game, which is, he's shooting a career high 51%, shooting 45% from 3. He's shown himself to be very durable. But at the same time, there's something that comes with Zach LaVine, and that's $130 million still left on his contract with 3 years, which includes a $49 million option in the 26-27. So respectively, it's not necessarily that he wouldn't be a valuable component. It's the number that who's willing to put him or to take upon Zach LaVine, which would undoubtedly shoot them into the second apron when you're looking at 3 years left on his contract. But there's still a possibility there because of what he's been able to do.
Right. I think whoever trades for Zach LaVine would need to figure out if they need him to scale his game up and do more for the money, or if they would need him to scale his game down, right? Which you wouldn't love to see given, like you said, the contract situation. But I think the thing with Zach LaVine is he's a solid B player. Really good offensive option, maybe not quite elite, right? Little below average to average defender despite his size. He's a good player. Is he a second or third best player on a championship team? That's what we don't know. But he sure hasn't been able to be the number 1 on a consistent playoff team. He's probably best served as number 2, but that's not the way he likes to play the game of basketball. So if you're trading for him, you got to know that he can take a step up in a new system, or that he'd be willing to accept a little bit of a reduced role and fit into the team concept a little more.
Well said. Let's go into the second individual I think that is possibly on the move block, and that's Brandon Ingram, who's been out for about 2 months with an ankle sprain. He's been a pretty solid player in his 18 games with the Pelicans, averaging about 22 points, shooting 47, 37, and 6 rebounds with 5 assist clips. For him, I think the question is his durability enough? But the favor of it is a team could be pretty motivated because he has an expiring contract. So if he's looking for the big money, but his durability issues, contract expiring, do you think he can give you enough to finish out the season to be a valuable asset?
Again, that's a guy that's you're not going to come in and have him be the face
because he's not
franchise.
a good defender too, right?
He's worked his way into average defensively. Yeah. It comes and goes, obviously, but that's another guy that gets a little bit of tunnel vision, right? He's a gunner. That's what he is. Yeah. He's a scorer. That's what he's wired to do first and foremost. So if you need points off the bench, you need him to run a second unit and keep the offense afloat, he can do that, but he's not going to fit in and be a connective piece, I think, on a team that's looking for a championship. He's a role guy, I think, in the grand scheme of things, maybe slightly miscast in New Orleans. So he'd be a good pickup for someone. I don't know if he's a season-changing, season-defining guy, unless you're a team that's looking to push guys down the pecking order a little bit.
Staying on the same team, it looks like there's some reports that the Pelicans are shopping Zion Williamson, but the issue with that is his money. They probably missed their window on that, and there's not going to be a good trade package that could be put together that can give them what they need there. So, you can discuss that or the possibilities of those moves. I think anything that would be thrown together with that kind of money, you really don't know what you're getting. And if I'm any team, I would probably wait, punt, even if I'm the Pelicans, to see if we can get some better value out of Zion.
I think that ship has sailed. So at this point, you're almost better off holding on to him and seeing if he can reestablish any value than selling low, right? The time to sell probably would have been a couple of years ago. Some other team could have gotten him in for rehab, gotten a look at him. They would have bought low. You wouldn't have gotten as much for him. But now that he's in and out, and you have all the conversations about the weight and the focus and the dedication and whatnot, you're getting pennies on the dollar, and that's not what you want. If you can at least get nickels on the dollar or dimes on the dollar, that's a step in the right direction. They probably should have sold before, but at this point, you better just play it out. Hold on to him and see if he gets his value up. You can trade him. He's got a year or two left on his deal.
There it is. Last one is this one. This is how I'm going to integrate my tinfoil hat and throw Jimmy Butler into the mix of this. This is something I might speculate on. Here's a curveball for you. Listen, though, hear me out. The Phoenix Suns are treading water in the ocean where there's jaws everywhere. And I'm not saying jaws. I'm talking about a lot of sharks in the water, and they're ready to eat you, and you've got blood that's coming out of a wound. All right? That's how it is down there. The core of Devin Booker, Durant, and Bill definitely is not working. You're already at the apron. You're hurting. You really can't put any pieces together to build a solid bench core or a group like that. That's hurting. But here's the thing. KD, although he is getting older, he's still in the all-NBA level. He's still playing at all-NBA. His clips are 27, 6, and 4 at 52, 38, and 83 splits. He was also named in his 15th time as an all-star. There's no indication. So I just wanted to lay the groundwork. There's no indication that he's not happy at Phoenix. So it's not like Brooklyn. It's not like, other places he's been where he seemed to be unhappy and he's been looking to push for a move. We haven't seen that. But could it be possible that he could be a fit in Miami? How would it work? Jimmy Butler going to Phoenix, would it be worth it for them? Because they're not going to be able to, Miami's not taking Bradley Beal. Just because, but I think Miami may be interested possibly in a Kevin Durant with that versatility, with that length, with that group of guys, with that type of scoring talent, with those type of splits. Because right now Miami finds themselves, let me just say this. The Suns find themselves on the outside looking in. But what is Miami looking like? The same position. I think the East is more opportune to bounce your way up and to challenge people more so in the East than I feel in the West. So if I'm Kevin Durant, is that something I take and look at it as a deal possibly? Or even if I'm, even if I'm the slick head master down there in in Miami.
Man, that's an interesting one because I don't think Phoenix would want to part with Kevin Durant for Jimmy Butler. I mean, even defensively, I think Kevin Durant
expiring contract coming up though with an option,
player option, right? If you know Jimmy Butler is going to opt out, that's fine. But is Jimmy Butler going to opt into his player option? And then does he expect you to give him a bag? Phoenix can't afford to do that necessarily. The big mistake for Phoenix right now is taking on Brad Beal. Just too redundant with Devin Booker, and especially for that money. Booker hasn't made the transition over to point guard full time. That's not really who he is, and Beal didn't do the same thing either. Plus the injuries. So
Nebraska, Bryce.
I can understand why Miami would want to do it, but I don't know why Phoenix would go for that one. So unless KD gets a wild hair and really wants to force his way out, and that's the way they make it work, okay. But it seems like KD's happy enough in Phoenix, and Phoenix is fine.
Yeah,
they're not overwhelming, but as interesting as it would be, I just don't know if I see it happening.
One quick one. Steph stay or is Steph gone?
Steph.
Toughie.
I don't know, Stricky.
We'll hold that one. We'll hold that one and kind of watch. Maybe we'll come back to that and let that marinate for a week, and maybe we'll come back. But the week before, and if we're hearing any rumblings out there, we may tap back in on that. But right now, we're gonna get out of here for the second half. 3:00. We'll be coming back here on the block. We're going to talk a little bit about the NFL headlines. Philly takes down Washington, and KC does it again. We'll be right back. 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Follow Austin, Strick, and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orbit, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Chiropractic, they believe everyone deserves to live a pain-free and active life. Lincoln Family Chiropractic specializes in customized care for every patient to promote faster healing, allowing you to get back to an optimal life. Lincoln Family Chiropractic goes beyond chiropractic care. They offer physical therapy, massage therapy, nutritional counseling, and wellness classes. Give Lincoln Family Chiropractic a call today at 402-484-5166. Visit them online at lincolnfamilychiro.com or in person, 1 block south of 70th and A Street in Lincoln.
At Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical, we're ready, reliable, and recommended. Water heater acting up or your sump pump on the fritz? Call Action. Summer's around the corner. Is your AC working? Are you sure? Call Action. Electrical problems? I'm telling you, call Action. Call Action for a free same-day estimate or a trusted second opinion. You heard that right, a free same-day estimate. 402-423-6960. ActionLincoln.com.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays. Games of bowling, shoe rental, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Landmark Implement, your John Deere dealer, invites you to their annual Sprayer Clinic at the Buffalo County Fairgrounds in Kearney on February 5th and 6th. This hands-on event offers expert training on John Deere and Hagie sprayers, covering topics such as machine maintenance, spray tip selection, and exact apply technology. New this year, classes on autonomy preparation, see and spray, and variable rate operation. Don't miss this opportunity, February 5th and 6th in Kearney. Learn more at landmarkimp.com/events.
Shouldn't the landscape around your house reflect the architecture as well as the interior? Whether it's new construction or breathing life into an outdated landscape, let the teams at Tailored Landscapes, Tailored Lights, and Tailored Life combine as your local source for outdoor living. Schedule a meeting with one of our designers who listen during our consultations and combine your preferences, plus our experience to give you a timeless, sustainable, photo shoot-worthy landscape. Call us at 402-432-2572. Find us on any social media or at www.tailoredlandscapes.com, because when you find one company, you find the benefit of three.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three. And you're going to go out of here
basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NIPCO. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Welcome back in hour 2 of On the Block, brought to you by Nebco. Check them out at nebcoinc.com. They are looking for some mechanics for their constructors brand as well as CDL drivers for ready mixed concrete. Again, you can learn more at nebcoinc.com. I'm Austin Norman. To my left, in person, you're right, on stream, Strick, back from necessary, important, fun travels. Glad you made it back, Tricky. While you were gone, your boys, and I do say your boys, America's boys, the Cowboys, shocked the world.
Shock.
Not really. I mean, kind of, sort of. I don't know if this is a shocking move necessarily. It's a head scratch.
It's one of those ones that
it's
you
a
kind of
bamboozling move, but it fits Jerry Jones's MO.
There you go. That's where I was going.
It fits Jerry.
Yeah.
They don't hire Prime. They don't steal Hoodie from North Carolina. They hire Brian Schottenheimer to be their head coach.
I mean, they didn't
Stricky,
even look
what
at
are they doing?
I mean, they didn't look at. They didn't. There was no seriousness to it. Listen. I want to get to the games because, this is going to be a pretty moderate short segment. It's not going to be long. But here's the thing, bro. Just go look at his track record for when he was a DC quarterbacks coach. Now, you can take out a little bit of the Indianapolis situation because obviously Luck was not at full capacity there. But just go look at what his offenses have done. What the quarterbacks did in his time there, what they did after he left. I mean, he's been at the bottom half of the NFL as far as production on the offensive side. I'm flabbergasted, to be honest, that
and maybe he's a better head coach than play caller. Maybe.
But there's no track record to even give you any confidence that that's there.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, I'm with you.
You've already got a tough situation because you're stuck with Dak. You have CeeDee Lamb who's frustrated. Now maybe it's a tank. Maybe it's a tanking bridge coach that you really don't have to say anything. He's already internal. You already know he's a yes man because he probably just tells Jerry, anything you want, Jerry. You can have this. No Diddy. Yeah, it's one of those crazy dynamics. You know what I mean? That I just didn't see coming. That he's sitting right there and, he takes the cake over everybody else and opportunities that were out there. I don't know. It's wild.
But Strick, I do think like we said, it kind of fits Jerry's MO.
Yeah.
Right? It's really not about the team and success on the field for Jerry Jones anymore. And I think we can see that. I mean, let's just go back. Let's just go to, so obviously Jimmy Johnson, Tom Landry, Jimmy Johnson gets a couple Super Bowls. Barry Switzer gets a Super Bowl in his 4 years in Dallas. His replacement, Chan Gailey, not exactly inspiring. Dave Campo, no. You gave Bill Parcells a try, got to the wild card round 2 times and lost both times. You move on to Wade Phillips for 3.5 years. Jason Garrett, not exactly a ground-shaking hire. And then Mike McCarthy. This isn't a run of hires that tells you it's a serious organization that cares about winning.
Well said. To me, if you're looking at it like that, you've already had a guy in there. I would have even looked harder at Kellen Moore. If you're going to go that route,
right?
I'd feel better if you would have chose Kellen Moore at this point. If you're trying to have some inspiration, possibly get an awakening out of Dak or a spurning growth out of the offense, he's a good offensive mind. But that, come on, somebody, just help me help them.
0167. Nobody should be surprised by this. This is a blatant tanking for Arch Manning coaching hire, like you said. There's a lot of expensive talent on that roster, though. You probably got to offload because you're not going to pay that much money for a roster that looks like that and does that. 8985 says, I think he's just a proxy coach, and Jerry's actually going to coach the team as well next season. Nah, doubt it. Interesting comment on Jason Garrett there. When will Jerry hire himself and fire himself and then get out of the way? Yeah, no, not going to happen. Also not going to happen, Strick. No underdogs in the Super Bowl. You want to talk NFC or AFC first?
Let's go AFC because let's go.
Them boys did it again, Stricky.
God.
They did it again. 32-29, Kansas City over Buffalo. Your reaction?
And
don't you dare say refs.
Listen, I'm really not. I've actually got to say, look, the one call that probably was controversial was the spot, but I could actually see how you got to that spot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really even gonna say that's something. Yes, there's some, but if you look at the calls, there was probably more calls for the Chiefs against the Chiefs. There's some that they declined because they, of whatever happened on the play.
Mm-hmm.
And so the penalties were even pretty much. I think one more for the Chiefs than the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say it's coaching because your tush push isn't Philly's tush push. It wasn't getting anywhere. I understand because listen, he's a big fella. You know what I mean? Josh is a big guy. I understand why you would do it, but it wasn't getting much traction. They were, guys like one time, Chris Jones alone just blew the doggone thing up.
Chris Jones was blocked one-on-one 11 times in the first half and had 7 quarterback pressure.
Right?
Oof.
He had to jump just to – you wasn't making it if he doesn't jump and almost fumble the ball. So you're going to that. Like you were better off running the quarterback run that you ran, the little half sweep that you ran, but not that tush push. It wasn't working. So I would say that's an issue. And then I think they missed opportunity because that was a huge one for me. That could have changed the whole landscape of the game, but it gave Kansas City just more spark because now they're only down 1. They go down, boom, score, get a 2-point convert. Now it's in their favor. And even then you still had another opportunity. And they blitz. The guy drops the ball. Obviously, there was a weird kind of spin on it. But, bruh, that's like Andrews. It's a catchable ball. You're paid a lot of cashola. You got to make that catch, baby. It's to go to the Super Bowl. So there's opportunities that I say they missed in this one, and maybe blame that on the Bills' curse.
Are they now the most cursed franchise in sports?
Nah, man. Well, dang, you can't even say the Red Sox anymore. You can't even say the Cubs anymore. They've got help me, 402-464-5685. Who is the most cursed franchise in sports right now?
Let's run down some stats here, Stricky. Since 2000, teams with 4 or more touchdowns and no turnovers in a playoff game are 59-3. The 3 losses are the Bills versus the Chiefs last night, Bills versus the Chiefs in the 2021 divisional round, and the Chiefs against the Patriots in the 2018 AFC Championship game. Josh Allen, in his 4 playoff losses to Kansas City, 9 pass touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, 1 turnover, 28.3 points per game, more touchdown drives than punts. His defense has allowed 38 points, 42 points, 27 points, and 32 points in losses. Patrick Mahomes, 6 straight seasons with multiple playoff wins. Next closest player has 3. He's only behind Tom Brady now when it comes to postseason wins. Patrick Mahomes, 99th percentile game for drop back success rate. Buffalo did not get after him hardly at all.
Yeah.
Good calls from Reed, right? Good read from Mahomes to keep that one on the 10-yard touchdown run that he had. Same play, same concept as the one that Kareem Hunt had. Let's see, more stats. Since 2019, the Buffalo Bills have won 78 regular season and playoff games, the most ever in a 6-year span without a Super Bowl appearance. In playoff history, teams to score 3+ touchdowns with no turnovers are 140-19. Josh Allen is the only quarterback with multiple such losses. All 3 of them are to the Chiefs. Chiefs are the first team in NFL history, Strick, to eliminate the same opponent from the playoffs 4 times in a 5-year span.
That's gotta hurt.
I can be with you when you say it comes down to coaching.
Yeah.
Because you get this many cracks at a team and you don't beat them once when it matters. Because the Bills have beaten the Chiefs, right? The Bills have so much more credibility to saying they're the Chiefs killers or closer to it than the Bengals ever did. Yeah, the Bengals did it when it mattered, right? They did it in the AFC Championship game, and that certainly holds quite a bit of weight. But also, Buffalo's beaten Kansas City a few times now in the regular season. So it's not like Buffalo doesn't know how to do it. Kansas City just always has a little bit more. So is it where Sean McDermott's not the right guy he can't figure out to get him over the hump? Or is it you have to keep at it with Sean McDermott because he keeps getting you in that position? You know, I wouldn't envy being Buffalo's management because I would understand not wanting to keep him because he keeps losing, but it kind of feels Ryan Day-esque at this point.
That's a tough one. I think that's a tough one, and I wouldn't be in the position to have to make that decision as to how that's going to work. Are there good coaches out there that can even replace that? Like, what do you need to add? What on your defensive side that is missing that this keeps happening in these moments of games against that team who, to me, didn't have the same power that they've had in their past. They just, Juju, Smith-Schuster makes a great. I mean, it's guys that just end up making good plays for them. Obviously, Pacheco and his strength and listen, they just find a way. I was actually surprised that they were able to keep Chris Jones, and he stays and he continues to anchor the defense there for them up front. And like you said, he seems to show up in the big games. 7 hurries, man. That's huge. When it matters, it seems like Chris Jones is the X factor on the defensive side when it's time to make something happen. He seems to be.
He is to the defense what Kelsey is to the offense.
Yeah.
Is really what it is. Any thoughts on Philly's blowout of Washington in the NFC Championship game, Stricky?
I'm not even mad at the young fella, Jaden Daniels. Ertz played phenomenal. Had a few drops. When your tight end is targeted that much and he has to produce at that level, you want that to be
Travis Kelce and no one else.
Yeah, right? But you're one of your better receivers. Obviously, he's older. And Terry McLaurin, he's targeted 7 times. Just can't really get separation there. Had a really big play for them for the TD. But they're going to have to add something there, I think, on the wide receiver core. I think that's an area that they're going to want to find a real number one, a young stud like a Justin Jefferson or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Somebody on that level, that's a stud that's coming out if they can get it, but it's going to be tough to get. Well, maybe not because, a lot of people are going to be going, quarterbacks probably line. You'll get a couple of receivers.
So here's
enough?
the potential options.
Yeah.
Teteroa McMillan probably won't be on the board from Arizona. Luther Burden probably won't be on the board. Is Emeka Egbuka good enough for you to want to take there?
I don't know if he's an outside one because he seems to me like a very good 2. But could he be? Possibly. I think he's capable, but I just don't know. I don't know if he's going to be an early impact one.
Alec Manor from Stanford had some big games. Ty Felton from Maryland put up some stats in the Big Ten.
Yeah, that's tough.
Pat Bryant from Illinois. Nick Nash.
I like him,
Nick Nash
actually.
from San Jose.
I like Pat Bryant. I think he's a sleeper. I think he's a sleeper, but it's going to be tough. I mean, those guys. I mean, if you get one of those guys and they just step up, you just got to do your homework really good to see if it's a fit for what they got going on there. Shout out to the Eagles though, man. To beat the brakes off somebody in the NFC Championship game like that. Jalen Hurts played absolutely phenomenal. 20 for 28. Getting 1 TD, super high QBR and a rating for that game. But I think their X factor for me is Saquon Barkley because he seems to have opened up so much more and take the pressures off an A.J. Brown as well as a Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
Devontae was able to be very efficient, 4 targets, 4 catches, 45 yards, 20 yards. Their longs were pretty good, so they were effective. Goddard is showing himself to be probably one of the top 3, top 5 tight ends right now in the league. He's very consistent there. But what you love about what they did is high targets, high catches. So there was efficiencies there. But to me, a lot of that comes out of what Saquon Barkley is able to do, which takes a lot of that pressure, keeping guys, linebackers down, all that stuff.
Well, he takes the first snap of the Eagles game 60 yards to the house.
Well, I mean,
he's incredible.
That's incredible. But then you throw a backup in that does what he does, and Shipley has a tremendous game himself as well. So, I mean, you if you're in an NFL game in this big of a matchup and you rush for over 220 yards, bruh, you're most likely going to win the game. I don't care who you're playing. If they get anything closer, if they get 150 against Kansas City's in trouble. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
They're an explosive run,
right?
Which the Eagles have really thrived on. So that's good stuff there. I'm sure we will get some thoughts from Brian Munson on Bills Chiefs here, but we have a lot to talk about with Brian when it comes to recruiting. What does Nebraska have on the roster? What do they still need? Who have they offered recently? We'll get Brian's thoughts on that and more when we get back to On the Block.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Midwest Bank is proud to be your local community bank right here in Lincoln. This is Travis with Midwest Bank, now with 2 branches conveniently serving Lincoln and 8 other locations across Nebraska. We're here to help you with any of your needs. From opening a checking account to buying a home or financing your business, our staff is here for you. Stop in and you might see Shin Daddy himself. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Learn more at midwest.bank, member FDIC.
Shouldn't the landscape around your house reflect the architecture as well as the interior? Whether it's new construction or breathing life into an outdated landscape, let the teams at Tailored Landscapes, Tailored Lights, and Tailored Life combine as your local source for outdoor living. Schedule a meeting with one of our designers who listen during our consultations and combine your preferences, plus our experience to give you a timeless, sustainable, photo shoot-worthy landscape. Call us at 402-432-2572. Find us on any social media or at www.tailoredlandscapes.com, because when you find one company, you find the benefit of 3.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solutions offers fleet services, as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2024 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
Hey, Husker Nation. This is Todd Euler, 2-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Hey everyone, Lance here with Black Label. We specialize in creating custom crafted decks, pergolas, patio covers, and more. Plus, our retractable screens, gazebos, and patio enclosures create the ultimate outdoor retreat. With over 50 years of combined experience, we're not just builders, we're creators of unforgettable memories.
Call them today at 402-730-6333 or visit blacklabelbuilt.com for a free consultation.
Let's turn your backyard dreams into reality.
Black Label Built, built to serve, built to last.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. See lots of sunshine. It will be breezy. See an afternoon high near 53. Tonight, mostly clear skies and light winds with a low around 25. Tomorrow, we'll see sunshine return with a light breeze and an afternoon high near 56. I'm meteorologist Kyle Hutt for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back during On the Block, brought to you by Nepco. We're headed to our VIP line, brought to you by Aloe Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. One of our favorites, guy we haven't talked to in a while, though, Brian Munson of Husker Online is our guest. Brian, long time no chat. How you doing, man?
Dude, I think it's been, 3 weeks since we talked? Because last week you guys were cutting in on some 2025 stuff, and then we had the holiday the week before that. So good to hear your voice again.
Good to hear from you as well. Before we get into the fun stuff, do you want to talk about last night, or are we moving on?
Well, I think as soon as the concussion happened in the first half, I kind of knew it was going to be difficult, and they did not get out of playing man-to-man. Oh, my goodness, really? I think that was kind of a challenge to their secondary in the first place, but then you lose a guy, and you put Elam back there, which I think we can kind of say now that is not a great fit for Buffalo. He was on skates all night long. They've got to shore some things up defensively. Clearly, I mean they got back half. Both of their defensive ends went away in the first and basically in the game. How many times did you say the word Epineza last night? Not at all.
Not many.
I didn't even hear it. And honestly, Russo barely made much of a dent in what the Chiefs had going on either. So I think the offensive side of the football is fine. I think the guard play's got to get a little bit better. But yeah, I think things have got to get really a lot better in that second half for the secondary for Buffalo. That's a big got to be a big emphasis for them in the draft and free agency.
Is that mostly personnel? Do you think that's a coaching element to it, or a combination of both?
Well, think about this, Coach Butler. Where did he come from?
Buffalo.
What was he? What happened to him? And how things happened at Buffalo. He was kind of the scapegoat, and kind of left out there to kind of leave and be have all these things cast on him. What failed last night? It was a secondary. So I don't think those are great. I don't think those are coincidences. I think that there's some personnel issues there. And look, I love me some DeMar Hamlin. I love me some Hamlin, and his story is incredible. But the inability for him to match up great with a real legitimate pass catching tight end like he saw last night with Kelsey, it just explains to me that you need to go get a longer, rangier, more athletic safety, and you might be able to slide him down to play some rover stuff. He's not opposed to put his head in there and stick his nose in some places where it shouldn't be. But he plays bigger than what he is. He's limited physically. I just feel like you need a bigger, longer, rangier free to put out there. So I don't know. They've got to do some major work in their secondary.
Speaking of going and getting players, Brian, that's why we like to talk to you quite a bit, is because you follow who Nebraska's trying to go get in the recruiting realm for Husker Online. A lot of offers have gone out over the last few weeks. What are you noticing from the guys that Nebraska's offering? Is there any sort of trend, or is it just throwing stuff at a wall and seeing what sticks right now for Nebraska?
Well, I think there's a little bit of that.
Okay.
But no, I think last week, I think some things that I picked up on was they're really trying to get back into IMG Academy. I think there's probably 4 or 5 offers to IMG guys out there in Bradenton, Florida, which I think obviously it's, I think in recent years, people probably would say that, there's a Bishop Gorman or Mater Day and, IMG out there, and you've got some other kind of prep schoolish places up there in the Northeast too that have got kind of a name for themselves when it comes to being a perennial Division I kind of talent development school. But IMG seems to be loaded again because I think Nebraska offered, like I said, 4 or 5 guys across 26, 27, and 28. And honestly, mainly probably 27 and 28, but you had a guy like Brett Kolajay, who's already there, an offensive tackle that's got Nebraska like in his top 7, who's visited Nebraska a couple times. He's originally from Colorado. So there's some real nice things that they're doing there in Florida. Credit Coach Simpson, obviously, who just joined the staff again after he left Florida State. They have been working the state of Texas, which obviously that's got to have some segments for them a little bit because Coach McGuire, he obviously had his place to kind of play at within the Metroplex. He was very much like a Cedar Hill, DeSoto, Lancaster, like the southern area basically of the Dallas area, the Dallas Metroplex kind of mid cities. He's very busy like down that way. So Nebraska is obviously trying to get back into the state of Texas a little bit. I thought it was just incredible how many 2028s that they have offered. In fact, they offered a couple more today. So I think that's really kind of shocking to me. I mean, you start talking about 14, 15-year-old kids that are picking up these Division I offers. You wonder, how many of them, and honestly, my son's a 14-year-old 2028 himself, and he's got a wide receiver at his school that's already picked up offers from like San Diego State and UNT with no varsity film whatsoever. So you're sitting there wondering about the evaluation process, and you really, that offer is just that. It's an evaluation offer. It's kind of an extension of, we're interested. Let's just see where this thing kind of goes. So nothing committable, obviously, to those things. But I think we're really watching what kind of happens here. Kansas is locked down their borders pretty hard here in the recent weeks when it comes to players I think Nebraska was interested in. A couple of them they had offered. So keep an eye on that. And then obviously we have the upcoming, Junior Day on February 1st.
Another guy that intrigued me that got an offer was in the 26 class, Zion Ely. He's the number 1 prospect in the 2026 class. I'm seeing him committed to Maryland with maybe some Oregon sniffing around. Does Nebraska have a chance with him, or what's the purpose of extending an offer to a guy who's already committed somewhere and then has some other big name programs on the list?
Yeah. So I think that the feeling there, obviously, is he doesn't end up at Terrapin. And so you want to kind of throw your hat, obviously, into that kind of into the ring with him to kind of, see what your chances are. Maybe he's still a Big Ten guy, and maybe and now all of a sudden, it's kind of it's a little bit more of a level playing field. I mean, the more and more things have kind of changed from I'm going there because of the tradition. I'm going there because of this, that, and the other thing. There's so much of this now. It's a business trip. It's a business decision, and I think that is kind of changing the reasons why some of these things happen the way that they do. So I think that's something to kind of keep an eye on there as well. But I think that the reasonable reasoning there with him and the offer and the fact that he's already committed and stuff like that, I think that there's probably good reason to doubt that he ends up signing with Maryland.
Does Nebraska offer a lot of guys like that are a little shaky on their commitment, or is this kind of a special circumstance since he's the number 1 overall player in the class?
I think that's just kind of, I think the fact that he's committed to Maryland is kind of the ironic piece. I think Nebraska, not having offered the number 1 player in the 2026 class until a couple of weeks ago is the other. I felt like probably, and it's such a huge need for them, obviously, in the class, right? So I think maybe what happened there is you kind of had a kid that had come off the board. Maybe you think like you got the dream offer and that was it. And then all of a sudden, like what you had said, a couple more schools sniffing around on him a little bit. Now he's talking about maybe taking some trips. Might as well go ahead and start to try to get involved there with the number 1 player in the country.
Fair enough. And when I look at that from a Nebraska perspective, Brian, on the one hand, I think it's good to see the Huskers still, trying to land these elite talents and go after them. But we also haven't seen Nebraska had a lot of success in actually getting them to campus and seeing these guys play a role. In your mind, is it still worthwhile for Nebraska to make these offers, spend this time going through this film and getting to know these players on the off chance that they like you maybe more than the previous ones did and you get them to campus? Or should Nebraska maybe, back off on some of these bigger named, higher rated guys and lean more into the under the radar gems and developmental type of program like they said they want to be?
Well, I think you make a compelling kind of situation there between the two, because you can. I think what you got there is kind of a stake in the sizzle. You've got a situation, obviously, there with the number one player in the country. What's the realistic expectation that Nebraska can get that guy? How many times has Nebraska gotten that guy before? I mean, once, here in the last 3 years, like with a Raiola. Now we're talking about the number one player in the country. Couldn't do it last year, when that offensive tackle decides to go to Ohio State or wherever it was that he went from North Carolina. I'm just sitting there going, I think Nebraska has a method to the madness, and that is, if you don't try, you don't know. And
Sure.
and you have got to put your best foot forward, because you know that he's a game changer. You know that he's a difference maker. He is a disruptive kind of dude that if you got him to Lincoln, you know that he's going to make your team almost instantly better. And I think that those are the kinds of things that you have to challenge yourself on, to say, look, the risk here is minimal. The reward is infinite. I've got to go ahead and make this offer. We may only have one phone conversation before he tells me what his number is or what he's really considering when it comes to things. But I've at least got to go ahead and say, you have an opportunity to come play football at Lincoln. And I think that that's like the minimum amount of effort that you need to make on guys that that can come in and help your team. And then after that, if a door is left open, you continue to try to walk through it.
We're talking with Brian Munchen of Husker Online here on our VIP line, brought to you by Aloe Fiber. Let's flip sides of the ball here, Brian, from defense to offense. Nebraska bringing in a transfer lineman tomorrow from Notre Dame.
Yep.
Rocco Spindler just played for the national championship. Visited Indiana, come to Lincoln tomorrow, might go to Michigan as well. Obviously, Nebraska has gone after some guys in the transfer portal, Brian. They get Pritchett from Alabama, miss out on Pete from New Mexico State. But offensive line is a place where there's not always a lot of transfers available, but it's also a position where it's a developmental thing, right? We were so excited over the course of the last year about the Brickses and the Piles and guys like that. And yet it seems like, you're always going to want more depth on the offensive line. Have Husker fans moved on from the young guys in the program too quickly, or is it good that Nebraska's maybe going after a veteran offensive lineman to help shore things up?
Well, I think that Nebraska still has hope, for a couple of guys that you mentioned there, like Pyle and Bricks, because, they were, U.S. Army All-Americans a year ago. They are two guys I know that traveled. I know that Pyle was dealing with an injury. I know Bricks had a lot to kind of, jump up from when he was playing high school football in Iowa. I think that they were two guys that Nebraska really felt like they wanted to keep in the program as part of the 105. So I don't think necessarily it's time to fold your cards at all, on either one of those two guys. I just feel like you still have two really unproven but yet talented guys like in the room, that if you got like a Spindler who has, I think, just 1 year left of eligibility, you can stick him at either one of the interior guard spots and kind of take the pressure off of somebody else while you give another time, a little bit more time to Bricks and a little bit more time to Pyle and, whomever else they have there at the guard position, that needs just a little bit more. Another example, basically, of how to do the job. You put somebody in front of them like that, you say, watch that kid and you'll be successful. You watch that guy and do what he does and emulate what he does, you can go be successful. And I think it's just another positive thing to kind of help out, being an extension of the coaching staff, so to speak, by bringing a guy in like that and adding him to the roster, adding him to the room. And, you really help, I think, Coach Raiola out with putting together another big piece to that group, and they're in the room. And then I think, you obviously then are giving your chance to develop the guys that you had coming in there a year ago. You have a lot of optimism about. So, and I think that even like a Houston Torres, he looked monstrous in his pictures too. And that's a guy that, he wants to figure into the equation as quickly as possible. And kind of be inflated to follow up, Ben Scott, another guy that was from his high school in Hawaii. So, very interesting kind of group that's being built there in the room. But I think that this is more there to kind of get around just, I'd say, the inexperience that's there with, on some very talented young players.
When you look at a guy like Spindler, too, when you say either interior position, are you saying left guard or right guard? Do you think that could be an option at center as well?
No, I don't think he's ever. And I'm trying to remember the article that I read. I know that he had played both interior spots. And in fact, I think maybe it was more right guard, and then the guy that came back had to move over to left because he had kind of entrenched himself there. So I think, obviously, if you're playing in the phone booth, remains kind of the same, from either one of the interior spots. I don't think necessarily guard, although wouldn't be surprised. A lot of those guys learn how to kind of play with the one hand and the offhand, and so that may not be a big reach for him, but I think you've got some guys that are on the team currently that want to get a look there as well. And I think obviously you have a very successful guy that's played interior line for Notre Dame, and you know that you can pencil him in at one of the two guard spots and then let the chips play or fall wherever they may then around him.
Do you think Nebraska found something at right guard with Henry Latovsky last year, or do you think that would be a competition for that right guard spot, since that is, to your point, where Spindler played most of the time?
I like Henry. I think he always, that's a guy right there that just, I think he'd go out there bleeding out his eyeballs. I think he's such a tough dude that sometimes, that toughness can kind of get in the way. And I think that he goes out there and probably puts himself in a spot where, maybe health-wise, he might not be able to kind of get the job done, but man, he's gritty. He is totally gritty. I want to see Henry healthy, and I want to see what he can do, being healthy, and that I think is really going to help that unit out. If he could just get healthy, stay healthy, he would give them a real great option playing the guard spot.
One last one on the interior line, and then one more for you after that, Brian. For the center competition, then, you think it's Justin Evans that slides over to center? Or is there room for like a Sam Sledge maybe to take some reps in a competition in that position?
So obviously Sam, I think, is going to want to have, get a look. Played the position in high school at Creighton Prep. I think it's going to be one of those things. I think, even a Pyle. I think Pyle's even played the center position before, or at least has trained at it. You have Torres that's there now in the spring. I'm sure that he wants to go ahead and get a look at it. I mean, he told me specifically that he was recruited to play the center position by Coach Viola. So I think you've got some dudes that can do it. I mean, there aren't many guys that you and I can sit here and list out over the last decade and a half that were specifically recruited to play the center position.
Right.
But now at least you got a couple. You got Sledge and you got Torres. I mean, you got some of the guys that can do it. But it's just, I think even before that, I don't know, you got to go way back to a Jacob Hickman, where I don't know if you really, and I think obviously, Juergens, but he wasn't recruited to play center. No. He was moved to center. So I just, that's just not a position that Nebraska is put tremendous value on. You usually find a walk-on doing it. It wasn't really like a 4-star or 3-star guy. It was in the class. So a little bit different of a situation. And obviously Ben Scott, being a transfer guy, helped out a bunch, but that was just kind of a hole in the roster.
One more for you then, Brian. You recently wrote about Torrey Pittman up there at Omaha Central. Couple offers on the way for him after the last week or so. Who were those offers, and where does Nebraska stand with him?
Yeah, he just picked up a couple big. He just picked up one after my story too. I think he just picked up Missouri after that. Or maybe it was Kansas State. I'm trying to remember who he just got the offer from, dude. It was just literally the day of my story. I think he had just picked up his latest offer. But Omaha Central, defensive back, wide receiver, kind of athlete. Torrey Pittman has great length. He's explosive. He has, kind of one of those things where he could go play multiple positions if he really wanted to. But I think he's kind of figuring out that he's better off just kind of, dialing it back here a notch, focusing on what's kind of going on the defensive side of the football. He had a great 7-on-7 camp recently down in Florida. I believe he picked up the offer from Miami, and that was where he was at. And then I think earlier on he picked up the offer from Iowa State because Caprice Keith obviously is there at his high school and kind of helped bridge a gap a little bit, with that offer. But Nebraska was the first one to offer. They offered him last February. He's really going to be one of those guys to watch here over the next year just because I think it's just going to continue to kind of click for him. And he's got great length and great athleticism. He could really be one of the top-rated guys to come out of the state in a long, long time.
And like you said, Nebraska was in first. Certainly doesn't hurt the Huskers' chances. Brian, as always, appreciate the time. Good to catch up with you, my friend. Thanks for your time. We'll be pointing people to Husker Online to check out your work. Hope to catch up again soon.
Yep, later, guys. We'll see you.
Brian joined us on our VIP line, brought to you by who, Stricky?
Not EPCO.
Our VIP line.
Oh, we're Allo.
Yeah, where they understand.
The exceptional service with local heart.
He's back. That boy, Strick back.
Man,
welcome back, Strick.
You threw the dodgeball and the wrench at me, and it boop hit me right up in the head. You
were covered.
You caught me slipping.
You caught it before it hit the ground, though. We'll give you credit for it. We'll go to break, cross it over with Jay, wrap up on the block in a sec.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with the child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through January 29th is $2 off bacon, $2 off summer sausage, and 20% off on crackers. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Hey everyone, Lance here with Black Label. We specialize in creating custom crafted decks, pergolas, patio covers, and more. Plus, our retractable screens, gazebos, and patio enclosures create the ultimate outdoor retreat. With over 50 years of combined experience, we're not just builders, we're creators of unforgettable memories.
Call them today at 402-730-6333 or visit blacklabelbuilt.com for a free consultation.
Let's turn your backyard dreams into reality.
Black Label Built, built to serve, built to last. At Lincoln Family Chiropractic, they believe everyone deserves to live a pain-free and active life. Lincoln Family Chiropractic specializes in customized care for every patient to promote faster healing, allowing you to get back to an optimal life. Lincoln Family Chiropractic goes beyond chiropractic care. They offer physical therapy, massage therapy, nutritional counseling, and wellness classes. Give Lincoln Family Chiropractic a call today at 402-484-5166. Visit them online at lincolnfamilychiro.com or in person, 1 block south of 70th and A Street in Lincoln.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most. For all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street downtown, always honest answers.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call at 402-590-5800.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call John Henrys at 402-435-5555 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-435-5555.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back one final time here during On the Block. It's the crossover brought to you by Love Volleyball. Omaha just had their first home match on Friday. If you want tickets to the next one, check them out at lovboma.com. Play their home games at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena in Ralston. 5 former Huskers on the roster. Make sure you get up there and see them. Moss Norman, Eric Strickland, host of On the Block with you. Joined now by the man in the middle, Jay Foreman. Jay, welcome in.
What's happening?
Oh, a lot. I think we go the NBA route for this one. Jimmy Butler walks out of shoot-around when he gets told he's not starting, suspended indefinitely.
Yeah,
Is that it for Jimmy in the league? You think he's, to Strick's point, is he able to force the trade that he wants?
Well, that's just, I mean, I think the last I saw was they need partners for him to go to Phoenix, like the 3 or 4 team trade. And so that's up in there. I think they'll move him. It might not be where he wants. And then, but Strick, answer this. So say I got traded. Remember when Carmelo got traded to Atlanta? Could they do a buyout with him and then he could immediately go where
I think a buyout's going to be a lot because you're talking about 2 years.
You
know what I'm saying?
He's got a player option for next year.
Yeah. Well, then, I mean,
they could negotiate a buyout.
Right. And take it.
But whether he would take it is another thing. He may take it. Jimmy doesn't come across to me as a person that wants to give away money. He wants to try to debo you.
He's trying to hit that last one. I
mean,
so they need to trade him. And I know Pat.
And he wants to play himself because right now he doesn't have much negotiating leverage because of the stuff he's been doing. So he's going to want to use those 2 years to show that
get that one more, maybe not. Yeah, I mean I'm sure Pat Riley's thinking, now it's a peeing contest, and he wants to make sure that he can get the most for Jimmy, but he also has to understand Jimmy's really devalued himself, and so at some point in time, you also have to look at, okay, what's the best Jimmy Butler that you think the league will see in 2.5 years, right? So say he plays good next year, and then he gets a new contract. Well, that's what you're trading against. You know, don't trade him against what he was when you guys went to 2 NBA finals,
right? Because
that person, in my opinion, and you see this a lot in football, mentally is gone. And that's where
physically too.
Sure, but mentally is the worst part, because I think as NBA players and how Jimmy plays and the way the NBA is, it's just like football with Brady. If you're a thinker, you can still be effective. Now, that's why LeBron's still able to be a really, really good player at his age, because he thinks. Whereas Jimmy, right now, he's not mentally there. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, Father Time is undefeated.
Took the full 2 hours, Stricky. Good job.
Not
bad.
It's so I just think it's for Pat Riley, get what you can. Don't get like pennies on the dollar, but get them up out of there.
Let's pause 10 quick seconds for station ID here on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Stricky, throw your hypothetical situation out to Jay.
Obviously, you're not going to, like you said, the value's not going to be there, right? So you're probably going to have to do a cross, channel move. So to me, Phoenix, you said it. This is why I'm my mind was thinking about this potential move. Phoenix, they're not going to take Beal with 3 years left on his contract and all that he has when you're 1 year with Butler. They're not going to take that, but they would take KD. So if you're Phoenix, you're already you're bucket naked.
Yeah,
you're already dang. So both teams are at the same tier right now.
Yeah.
If I'm KD, maybe even his agent, I'm trying to get, because Phoenix in the West is not doing a doggone thing.
Yeah, they don't got a chance.
But KD, if he still wants to make a move
With Bam,
get down there
Tyler Hero,
on the east side,
where
you might be able to do something. So since there's not going to be much leverage, I'm sure Pat Riley would take that. I'm sure KD would be cool with that. And Phoenix is already troubled anyway.
Yeah.
You probably don't like it because Beal and Booker and all are the same type of guy. But the only way you would look at it is if you know he's willing to opt out and not have to deal with the controversy of that for 2 years, you might take that. It is, I think, a little bit less than what KD's is. So you're going to gain a little bit towards getting off the apron.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like that. And then, really, if I'm Phoenix.
And if you throw another person into it, then you definitely can make it work.
And I try to find somebody to take Beal. And we'll see where he might have.
Yeah, that's
At least he's not a headache. But.
No, but I'm just saying to get some value for him because if the contracts weren't so lopsided as far as the years, if I'm Pat Riley, I'd take Bradley Beal for Jimmy Butler. And then throw something in there. You got to give me a little bit of headache, kind of compensation. Now, you can't because of that. But if you can get KD, I'd do that in a minute. Yeah, I'd take KD.
Before Phoenix has a chance to rethink it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got 5 minutes, if that.
I'm staying on hold.
Yeah, and we already had 2 left. So, we've been talking for 3. So I just think it's tough, man. I mean, I think that one of the biggest things that you see it in every sport. You saw this weekend with Buffalo and all that. Mentally, these guys get in their own way and they don't understand. I think sometimes you get so accustomed to, and this is also where it's both good and bad, right? You got a guy that everywhere he's been. Now, his story was great when he was in Chicago, and it reminds me a little bit of Antonio Brown. He kind of came right. Jimmy was a first-round pick, but late. I don't think his dad was around, and he had to live with people in high school. Great story. Worked it. He was working, jobs in college. It was a great story. But then once he got a taste of that, I call it the devil's cake, and that's some stardom, some notoriety. It's changed, and then it's progressively got worse. And look at Antonio Brown, great story. They talk about when he went to his first college, he showed up, just only the clothes in his car. Got up to Michigan out of nowhere by the way of Florida, worked himself into, obviously an all-time, maybe even a Hall of Famer. But everywhere he went, he even when people are doing right by him. I mean, Tom Brady put $2 million in your pocket and you turn around and doing some stuff talking about you just trying to get clickbait on it. Like
walking off the field at halftime.
Walking off the field and just quitting like that. And then you up here, talking about Tom Brady's, now ex-wife. And like, bro, like.
What did he have? Like frostbite on his feet and.
Yeah, he did chirotherapy, and then you're supposed to go in there with socks on. He went in there, and he was 2 days away from getting like a $30 million guaranteed. He just is ignorant. But that's the same thing with Jimmy. Everywhere he goes is a little bit more magnified. I wanted to ask you real quick, Strick. I know you got to go. Is Karl Anthony Towns? He's back at home. He's balling. He's playing, and this is where you got to worry about it though. Because he hasn't got comfortable back home yet. So he's on his best behavior. But Julius Randle.
Boy.
Damn.
Boy. And he up in your spot.
I know, but he went from the dude that Kobe respected. Because remember when Julius Randle, when he ran up on Draymond was like, oh, okay, that's a true dog right there.
Yeah, Dallas. He had Texas dude.
And his mom could hoop too. His mom is the real gangster. And then he went to New York. Had some good years, and they kind of shunned him when Brunson came in and he got hurt. But man, so it looked like he just out there just kicking the ball around. How does that happen, man? Because it's not like he got a new contract.
The Rudy Gobert effect.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like he got a new contract. No, he usually would run the break. He kicking the ball out of bounds.
He's checked out. That's what we call a mental checkout. What would that look like in football? Because that's a mental checkout where
you no effort.
You know what I'm saying?
You're just looking at a guy. You looking at you're not getting in on the hit, or
you saw it when he was sitting on the bench and he got put on the bench, and then the game was over. He wasn't even on the bench. That's mental checkout stuff, and it's prima donnish, childish, unprofessional type stuff, and it's a mental checkout. One, you've already felt like you said you felt like you got shunned. Now it's like a compounding shunning.
Like he ain't over it yet.
Yeah, like he didn't get over it, and then you get there because he started off pretty, a little bit better, and then all of a sudden stuff starts happening. You start getting frustrated. You actually see that you're not him anymore. That is Ant's team.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Then you have the beef between him and Rudy Gobert. Because you're basically
the French connection.
Frost biting him. He's getting deep post. That's where he would thrive at, and you're not even throwing him the ball, so you're freezing him out. And coaches probably it's a mental checkout.
Yeah, man.
It's a combination.
It's tough to see guys go through that, man. Just because when they probably get our age, they're gonna look no matter what they say. This is what people always say, like. We live all right. You got a good life, but when you sit back and you're having a couple of drinks with your buddies, you want to be able to have good memories of how you finished out your deal. And it has nothing to do with production, because those are the lasting memories.
Because Juwan Howard,
right,
throwing that towel,
right.
Udonis Haslem.
But here's the deal. Right. But here's the deal. But when you get back to like alumni weekends and stuff like that, there is a difference. And when you get around alumni weekend, it don't matter where you live at.
Yeah.
Or your house or whatever.
Yeah.
That's your house in that deal, man. And these college kids got to face that reality too.
Facts.
Yeah.
It's going to hit them sooner and later. Strick on the NJ in the middle. I'm Austin Bennett. Good show here during On the Block. Big thanks to Nebco for their sponsorship. Don't go anywhere. Foreman and Norman comes your way next year for Old School.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the